Now, as you guys can see here, just in the time from 2021 all the way to now, this channel has done me 390,000 USD in revenue. Now, please keep in mind, not all of this is profit, but the majority of it is. It's about 70% margin, so it's pretty good. But I think this just kind of shows you that I'm not a LARP, and the stuff I'm going to be telling you in today's video is completely accurate. I'm not here to sell you anything. We have to emphasize that. I can show you here. We were doing like thousands of dollars every single day, and this is off YouTube. I've made millions and millions of dollars at the age of 19 off of Snapchat and YouTube. Now, those are my two primary things. I have made money off other parts of online ventures and stuff like that, but those are the two things. And what I really want to emphasize is that I'm not here to sell you a course. I have nothing to prove to you. Honestly, all I'm wanting is that by the time you leave this video, you have a good understanding of how you can do the same. Because one thing I have to say, it's not hard to do $10,000 a month. I'm sorry to break it to you. I know that the school system and the education system and everything like that has kind of indoctrinated everybody from a young age to believe that a 9 to 5 is the only avenue. You may have heard that it is possible to do money on YouTube, to do money on Snapchat, to make money on social media, but it's always been this thing that's almost frowned upon. I've gotten a lot of hate in my life just for making money. And I think it's quite disgusting that people try and make you feel bad for wanting to learn something new. Like, I know some of you guys, if you were to tell your parents that I want to work on this, I don't want to go through the school system, a lot of you would actually be pretty shunned and just be turned away and said, no, it's not worth it, and it's just a dumb idea. But I'm here to tell you, just in 1 month on one of our YouTube channels, we did $31,000 in revenue. USD, so in my currency, AUD, about $50,000. In lifetime, as I just showed you then, $390,000 USD. I can go ahead and show you every single day individually. Still does a little bit, still does here and there, quite a bit of revenue, but it's obviously died out a little bit. This channel, specifically this one, is compilation style. It literally takes zero effort. I do have 50% equity, so I run it with a partner, and we have about 70% margins on that. So I think on this channel, and just in general, we did probably about, on that, I'd say in my currency, I made about $250,000, so about $250,000. Obviously, I have a lot more avenues. I have Snapchat shows, which have made me $3 million, $4 million. And really, I'm just here to show you guys exactly how you can do the same. A lot of people really don't believe in themselves as much as they should. And I know that this video probably isn't going to convince you that much. But you really have to understand that just by you clicking on this, it means that you are on this side of YouTube. You've already taken the first step, and I can say with absolute certainty, a good percentage of you guys are going to succeed just off the fact that this is the side of YouTube that you're on, which is the same as me. I was on this side of YouTube 3-4 years ago before I made any money. Obviously, I'm 19 now. I think I made my first 100,000 at maybe 15, 16. But I was also on the finance channel side of YouTube. I grew up watching Beheza, Jordan Welsh, all of these creators that kind of blew up in that booming industry, and it really motivated me. So what I can say to you guys is that if you are watching this, chances are you're going to be successful. It's just a matter of time. Now, niche jacking. Now, obviously, what I do kind of emphasize to all of my friends and all of my clients and people that I try and teach is that YouTube automation is the way to go. People say that YouTube is really difficult. It's this thing that's really difficult to get into. I'm here to tell you it's not. And YouTube automation is probably the easiest way to make $10,000 a month, just like that. It is so easy. If you teleported me into Indonesia with nothing but a computer, I could be making $20,000 within the first 2 months. And I'm saying that not based off of ego, but based off of realism. That is literally what I'm telling you is possible. Take a look at this channel, Scribble. It's a cartoon channel that goes into depth on like every deleted scene from SpongeBob, every time Homer should have divorced Marge, The Simpsons' most tragic deaths. Now, if you filter by popular, it started about 2 months ago. If we head over to view stats, just in those 2 months, they've done about, or just in the last month, I should say, they've done 1 million views. In total, they've done 2.5 million views. Now, these videos are very long. They're about 50 minutes long, meaning the RPM, so how much you're paid per 1,000 views. RPM is how much you get. CPM is how much YouTube gets. We only really care about RPM because that's what comes home in our pockets. RPM, I would guesstimate this to be about $7 in terms of just like RPM. So if they've done 2.5 million views times 7, they've done about 17,500 USD just off of this one channel. And the only expense is editing and thumbnails. I've gone into depth on many other videos on my channel of how you can acquire thumbnail designers, script writers, editors. Not that you need script writers anymore, But essentially, this channel here is the perfect example of a long-term niche that's probably never going to die. I mean, The Simpsons, SpongeBob, they've all been around for a crazy amount of time, and they've yet to fall off. They're still getting crazy amounts of views. Even Rick and Morty, look, 82,000 views 6 days ago. Once again, $7 RPM. They made about $600 off of that one video. And once again, these entire videos are AI. So it's probably got an AI voice, an AI script.
Rick Sanchez is a terrible person.
Exactly. These videos, the only expense is editing, which obviously they are quite long. So I would probably say the cheapest you'd be able to get per video on a channel like this would be $70 realistically. But the AI voice can be done for basically free. The script can be done for free. And really all you're paying for is the thumbnail and editing costs. And this, as I said, this channel's posted 17 times? And out of those 17 times, they've made about $17,500. So they're making $1,000 a video, only putting in about $100 a video. And I think that's kind of where the value lies on YouTube as a whole. The fact that you can invest money and make so much money back. Now, just so you guys know that I'm not full of shit, obviously, I will never sell a course. I'm so against it. I just think that the majority of people that sell courses made most of their money from selling that course. So that's really not what I'm trying to do here. But I do have a mentorship, which is one-on-one, where I work directly with clients. That's linked below if you are interested. It's very high ticket. Just fill out the form, and if you want to work, we might get back to you. But I'm just going to show you, just so you know I'm not completely full of crap. This is my Snapchat agency. Now, if you might know about Snapchat shows, all these people like Daniel Baton, Not Luke, all these people really shed some light on them back in the day. I'm actually the one that got most of those guys into it. I'm kind of the founder of all that stuff. But this is my Snapchat portal. It still does a good amount of money. You can see this is one of our shows. We get 50% of this. I want to emphasize a lot of these course gurus and sellers are going to show you revenue. They might be like, I made $600,000 this month. And realistically, Snapchat takes half, you're left with 300,000. Their business partner takes half, you're left with 150, and the agency takes 20%, you're left with 120,000. But it's all right because we can't hate on those people, whatever works for them. But yeah, I get 50% of this. This is one of our 11 shows. So we have Jittered Gaming, which makes about $13,000 a month. Then we have one of our meme shows called Central, which is doing about $12,000 a month. It's doing really good recently, actually. I'm not sure why, but as I said, these videos are just made with AI. I pay some guy like $4 a video to make them, and this channel is doing about $900 a day. You could say, oh, it's so scummy of you to do that. Honestly, I don't really care. I mean, I'm the one that got the portal, so if I'm hiring people to run it, I'm not going to give them a crazy good deal just because it's mine. I mean, I got this myself. This show here, Paradise, is essentially nails. So, like those really satisfying clips. And if we filter this by the last 3 months, I mean, we've done just in 3 months in this one show, $49,000. Now, if you want to take it back a little bit, let's go to December 2023 to October 2023. On this one show, we did $127,000. Now, once again, I really want to emphasize the fact that there's no work needed on these shows specifically. Now, I know I'm showing a lot of shows, and it's really just to show you that what I'm telling you is accurate. I wouldn't be telling you about YouTube and telling you it has this much versatility and it's this scalable if I honestly didn't think it was with every part of my being. I mean, I started on YouTube. Snapchat was where I made a lot of money, but I can really tell you that Snapchat's a dying platform. It is so bad, and they have no longevity, no scalability, and honestly, I'm not even sure if Snapchat shows are going to be around 3 months from now. Whereas YouTube, look at this. Once again, 170,000 in like 3 months before that. And we have 8 of these, we have 11 of these, we have so many of these just printing like this. And the same thing counts for YouTube automation. You set up multiple channels, you pay for your output, which is creative, so editing, thumbnail costs. Those are your only expenses. And if you're doing a shorts channel, your only expense is editing. Like, it's quite literally that simple. And it's honestly quite sad with how easy it is to make $10,000 a month. And I find it really depressing to just think about how many people are just shunned off from that. Like, they just believe that the only way to make money is through the school system, which just, I mean, it just isn't true. Look at this. The amount of money I make is ludicrous. If we head over to Fax Machine, which is one of our news shows, so essentially like when Andrew Tate was blowing up and stuff like that, we'd be like, Andrew Tate just got out of prison and this is the recent news on it. You know what I mean? Just really dumb stuff, brain rot like that. And back in like 2023, so this is 3 months, $276,000 in 3 months. If we head over to today, it's still doing a little bit of revenue. Like, let's filter by the last 3 months, $128,000. If we go to like very recently, like the last 1.5 months, it's not doing anywhere near what it was doing prior, but still doing about $76,000. And once again, we have 11 of these. This just kind of shows you the scalability that comes with doing a social media such as YouTube, Snapchat. And I'm telling you now, Once again, if you start today, you will be making $10,000 to $20,000 a month within 3 months if you actually apply yourself and you just do the research. I'm not trying to sell you a course, so I have nothing to gain from telling you this information. I'm not just trying to give you false hope or, just trying to ease you up because it'll gas you up. There's no reason for me to do that because I'm not gaining anything from it. What I'm really trying to emphasize is the fact that this is just so easy to do. I mean, look at this channel here, right? One of the channels that we ran. If we head over to the last 365 days, it's done $42,000 in revenue. It's quite dead now. But the thing is, zero effort. Once again, I have to emphasize that. We don't do anything. So how can that be a bad part? Do you know what I'm saying? It's just so easy. Set up 10 of these. There are people that I know of that have hundreds of these channels. For example, Dr. Insanity. I know this guy personally. He's a really, really good guy. He is pulling a ridiculous amount of money. So this is just one of his channels. He has a heap of them. This gets 31 million long form views a month. You may have seen it. It's one of those really big criminal channels. When parents realize they accidentally killed their daughter. These really criminal based channels. RPM is probably about $7. He's getting 31 million views a month. If we go ahead and do 31 times 7, this one channel, solely off of ad revenue, not counting a music deal, not counting a sponsorship, not counting anything, is doing 217,000 USD every single month. Now, this channel is fairly new. It only started about 2 years ago. So there's nothing stopping you guys from replicating this exact same formula on a new niche that has longevity, because new niches come out all of the time. Every single day, there's a new niche. Find something that has longevity. You look at it and you say, will this be around 3 years from now? If the answer is yes, get on that. Become the biggest in that space. Dr. Insanity is one of the largest in the criminal niche, and he only started 2 years ago. A lot of people like to say, to make themselves feel better, oh, it's too hard. Being a YouTuber is really difficult. It takes ages to get started. It's just bullshit, because it doesn't, and you're just telling yourself that to really justify procrastination. It's not hard whatsoever. And let me go ahead and give you another example of an insanely long-term channel. Now, this channel is called the Amagi. Now, I really want to emphasize the fact that these videos could be done with AI and with script writing, like an AI script writing tool and an AI voiceover. And you would not be able to tell the difference between their quality and the new quality. And I say that with 100% certainty. This channel here, it has about an RPM of $10. They're doing 3.4 million views a month. That's about 35,000 USD every single month off of this channel, and they're not even pulling crazy views. And once again, it's January, so the RPM's down. Back in about December, they were doing about $60,000 a month, and this is the exact example of a channel you'd want to do. This started 5 years ago. Realistically, they only started doing good content like 4 years ago, but these guys are guaranteed close to $1 million a year, every single year for the rest of their life, just because Naruto, anime, Pokemon, Harry Potter, none of this is ever going to die. It's a large fandom, it's got a large fan base, and it's been around, and it has a proven track record of performing well over that time. Now, this channel here, as I said, you could replicate these videos for very cheap.
I've touched on things like this in the past. In fact, about 2 years ago,
Train your ChatGPT model. I've gone into depth. Please watch my other videos. I have about 12 videos going into depth on everything. And I guarantee you, if you watch all of those and make a document and pinpoint every specific point I say, you will leave knowing everything, the in and out of how to structure a YouTube automated channel and how to actually make it perform well. I'm not just saying that to gas myself up. Once again, I don't sell a course. I have a mentorship. I don't care if you believe me or not. I just want you guys to succeed, and I truthfully want that. Now, one thing that is probably the biggest factor that I really want to emphasize and make my point clear across is chasing the gold. It's called shiny object syndrome. Now, I myself suffered from this as well. You find a niche and you'd be like, wow, it's making so much money. Like, you might see this Snapchat thing and be like, okay, I want to get into Snapchat. I want to get into Snapchat. The truth of the matter is, you will get into it, and then a week down the line, you'll see something else that makes it seem redundant and makes Snapchat seem better than it actually is. You will see something that says, hold on, why don't I just do this? And what you're going to go ahead and do is forget about Snapchat, and now you've started working on something else. And it's called shiny object syndrome. You see something that looks better than what you're currently doing, and you immediately think, whoa, let's go ahead and do that. Now, that is the wrong way to think. I had the same problem. You have to stick to something. That's the only way you're going to make this work. If you stick to something for 3 to 6 months, it will work. And I promise you that. I am 100% adamant and absolutely certain that that is the case. Now, a lot of people are going to say I'm wrong, but I have the track record to prove it. I mean, this channel here, just our shows in general, $76,000. I believe this one show specifically has done about close to $1 million. This show here, Paradise, still doing about $12,000 a month. Up to date, we just started this one last week, and it's doing about $5,000 a month. And we just started it last week. And I'm not doing this to flex once again. I just want you guys to know how easy this is. Please take into account what I've said. Make sure when you're choosing a niche, you choose a niche that has a big US and first world demographic. So Australia, UK, US, Canada. You really want to emphasize that you aren't choosing a niche that has Indian, Pakistani, Russian, those really low quality viewers that aren't going to be getting paid a lot of money. Now, the reason for that is advertisers simply aren't willing to pay as much for low quality views. Obviously, US people are willing to spend more on their products than Indians would. That's just the only reason for it. And guys, best of luck. I wish you all the best and make this work. Please don't give up.